Hare Krishna. Welcome to class. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shiva Shakha Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagapati Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Heti Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnave Namo 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 Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate B.V. Govinda Swami Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Desh Anant Koti Vaishnavin Ki Jai. All right, straight to the verse. Tasya Putro Mahayogi. Chant.
तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी
Samadrina Nirvikalpakaha
समदृढ निर्विकल्पकः
Ekantamatir Unindro
एकान्तमति मुनीन्द्रो
Budho Mudho Iveyate
मूढो इवेयते
Tasya Putro Mahayogi. Anybody else?
Tasya putro.
Continue. Go on.
Please, Anjali, please go ahead.
Tasya putro mahayogi
Samadrina Nirvikalpakaha
samadrina nirvikalpakaha
Ekantamatir Unindro
ekantamatir unindro
Budho Mudha Iveyate.
guro mura ivayate.
Okay. Do you want to read the translation?
Yes. His Vyasadev's son was a great devotee, an equibalanced monist whose mind was always concentrated in monism. He was transcendental to mundane activities, but being unexposed, he appeared like an ignorant person.
So, किसकी बात हो रही है?
Sukadev Goswami.
Yeah. He is the son of Vyasadeva.
Vyasadeva.
And who is Vyasadev's father? Just trying to trace the lineage. Okay. Parashar Muni.
Shantanu, no.
Parashar Muni.
Parashar Muni, okay, right.
So Parashar Muni's son is Vyasadeva. Vyasadev's son is Shukadev Goswami. Shantanu is a different lineage. So, I mean, they are related indirect. Shantanu is married Ganga Devi, right? And his son was the great illustrious
Bhishma Pitama.
Bhishma Pitamaha. And Vyasadeva is Bhishma Pitamaha's brother. So this is how they are related.
So Vyasadeva is also Ganga Maiya's son.
Yes.
Okay.
Parashar Muni and Ganga Devi also united and Vyasadeva was born. But by the mystic potency and the yogic powers of Vyasadeva, he again blessed her that you will still continue to be a virgin. And then years later, when and he also gave her the benediction that she will be a what is sandalwood called in Hindi?
Chandan.
Chandan Gandha. I mean, her body used to emanate naturally the fragrance of sandalwood. This benediction was given to her by Parashar Muni. जिस अरोमा से अट्रैक्ट होकर शांतनु बनी had gone hunting in the village, in the forest, got that scent, and he followed that scent and found her ferrying the boat across the Ganga, because her father was used to do that job. So yeah. So Srila Sukhdev Goswami was a liberated soul, and thus he remained always alert, not to be trapped by the illusory energy. In the Bhagavad Gita, this alertness is very lucidly explained. The liberated soul and the conditioned soul have different engagements. The liberated soul is always engaged in the progressive path of spiritual attainment, which is something like a dream for the conditioned soul. Why? ऐसा क्यों कहते हैं? A liberated soul is always engaged in pursuing a spiritual goal. है ना? And the conditioned soul feels that this is something like a dream, because he cannot imagine the actual engagements of the liberated soul. While the conditioned soul does dreams about spiritual engagements, the liberated soul is awake. Similarly, the engagement of a conditioned soul appears to be a dream for the liberated soul. A conditioned soul and a liberated soul may apparently be on the same platform, but factually they are differently engaged, and their attention is always alert, either in sense enjoyment or in self-realization. The conditioned soul is absorbed in matter, whereas the liberated soul is completely indifferent to matter. This indifference is explained as follows. So I'd like you to share your views on what you've understood by this. It's pretty simple. So let's make the class a little interactive. And bataiye.
But why would this be that the engagement of a, why would the liberated soul think that the engagement of a conditioned soul is also a dream? जो आपने पहले कहा, that is understandable. That the conditioned soul finds the engagement of the liberated soul as a dream. Yeah, I mean, probably the conditioned soul also wants to do all that. I mean, go along the path of spirituality, but probably may not be able to. Hence, it seems like a dream. But why vice versa? Why would the liberated soul also find the conditioned soul ka engagement as a dream? This I don't understand.
Sorry, come again. How can you understand that a conditioned soul thinks that liberated soul is a dream? His activities are a dream?
See, like we conditioned souls do keep thinking about, keep following spiritualism, following the path to a certain level, and going higher and higher. But then we being, I mean, this is my understanding, we being we are forever caught up in our usual materialistic activities, ghar, kaam, dhanda, everything. So it actually seems like a pipe dream. Like, I actually think those all who are above me along the path of spirituality ki kaise ye log ne attain kiya. So lagta hai this half of the statement I can understand कि जैसे मुझे लगता है कि ये लोग ने कैसे किया तो it seems like a dream, but I don't understand the vice versa कि why would a liberated soul find the engagements of a conditioned soul as a dream.
Any ideas on that? Nima?
Was I able to explain?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
please.
here, Mataji, in purport only it has been written that conditioned soul and a liberated soul may apparently be on the same platform. दोनों भी same platform पे जा रहे हैं लेकिन दोनों की activities अलग है. So maybe liberated soul must be thinking that being a liberated, I have now understood the fact of a life. I have understood who am I, and so I am performing the activities accordingly. But why these conditioned souls are not able to understand it? Maybe the reason.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, very much. Anybody else? YG, Anu? And or
The later half is confusing. वो कहाँ गया? Screen share.
अच्छा मैंने वो निकाल दिया कि okay, here you want that again? Here you go. हाँ जी.
Because I was looking at the later half of this, the confusion actually popped up from here. A conditioned soul cannot imagine the actual engagements of a liberated soul. So what I have understood is, I think that conditioned as well as liberated souls, of course, work very much in this illusory energy, but illusory world. But the purpose and the goal of liberated soul is very well known to the soul कि मुझे अपना liberation चाहिए. So his work is towards the spiritual attainment instead of materialistic engagements or enjoyment, though they are on the same platform. But conditioned soul obviously जो है वो अपने sense enjoyment में लगा रहता है. So I think वो later half मुझे भी थोड़ा confusing लग रहा है. I don't know whether I have understood the right way or not. See, in the end, they have concluded it like the conditioned soul is absorbed in matter, whereas those standing on the same platform, both are standing on the same platform, conditioned as well as liberated soul. But one is absorbed in matter, whereas the other one is indifferent from matter because उनका उद्देश्य कुछ और है. Their objective towards life and towards getting this human body is different. So this is what I've understood. And this is, I hope I'm able to explain my confusion also.
Yes. So as always, a practical example or one real life example के साथ अगर इसको समझें तो clear हो जाएगा, isn't it? Vinita, Uma, आपको कुछ add करना है? By G, yes. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, the goal is actually very different. The goal of a liberated soul is self-realization. So, and the goal of a conditioned soul is sense enjoyment. So if you take an example, if you look at the senses, for example, if you're in, if you're a conditioned soul, maybe you'll use the eyes to go and see a movie. Whereas if you are a liberated soul, you'll use the same eyes not to see a movie, but probably to go visit the temple and see, what's happening there. So it is also a question of how. So for me, it seems like parallel lines, because ultimately the dreams or the goals of these two will not merge because they are very different. Although we tend to use the same set of resources that are being provided to us being in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Absolutely. This is exactly the answer that I was looking for. Has it helped you understand? Has it clarified? Or the confusion is still there? For example, okay. So she's given a wonderful example. Now, imagine, जैसे अंजलि ने कहा कि हम सब अपनी गृहस्थी में लगे हुए हैं, उसी तरह सपोजिंग आपके बगल में आपके हम सबका एक नेक्स्ट डोर नेबर एक कोई मंक आके रहना शुरू कर देता है, मे बी अ सन्यासी स्टार्ट्स लिविंग नेक्स्ट डोर. ओके, नाउ आपके घर में यू विल सी द एक्टिविटीज गोइंग ऑन इन योर हाउस, है ना, एंड देन यू विल सी द एक्टिविटीज गोइंग ऑन इन हिज हाउस, एंड यू विल वंडर, यार ये सारा टाइम यही करता रहता है, ये कभी पिक्चर देखने नहीं जाता, कभी कोई बर्थडे नहीं मनाता, कहीं इनके घर में बस लोग आते हैं एक ही काम करते हैं, या कुछ या शास्त्र पढ़ रहे हैं या सुना रहे हैं या कीर्तन कर रहे हैं, और हमारा जो बच्चों की छुट्टियां होती है सब हॉलिडे पे जाते हैं, ये कभी कोई नई जगह नहीं जाते, सारा टाइम धाम पे ही जाते हैं. सो दोनों इसी दुनिया में है, इसी दुनिया की चीजों को यूज कर रहे हैं, दोनों के शरीर सेम दिए हुए हैं भगवान ने, फिर भी एक जो है अपना शरीर अलग चीजों में लगा रहा है और दूसरा जो है वो अपना शरीर अलग चीजों में लगा रहा है. एंड बोथ आर बैफल्ड विद ईच अदर कि यार ये यही काम क्यों कर रहा है. थोड़ा बैलेंस रखो लाइफ में. कंडीशन सोल ऐसे सोचेगा, थोड़ा बैलेंस होना चाहिए लाइफ में. एक ही चीज के पीछे पड़े रहो, किसी के साथ कोई कांटेक्ट मत रखो, बस अपने ही लोगों के साथ मिलते रहो, सारा टाइम भजन कीर्तन ही करते रहो, ये भी कोई जीवन हुआ. सो ही इज बैफल्ड. And the liberated soul is saying, don't they see that they are going to die? इनके अंकल मर गए, दादा मर गए, दादी मरी, नानी मर गई, इनको क्या समझ नहीं आ रही है कि ये भी मर जाएंगे, ये कुछ करते क्यों नहीं है अपने अगले जन्म के लिए. अभी भी भागे हुए हैं, कभी यहाँ जाना है, कभी उसकी शादी है, कभी इसकी शादी है, अब हॉलिडे पे जाना है, अब बिजनेस को देखना है, अब जॉब देखना है, अब बच्चों को करना है, इनको समझ नहीं आ रही है. और फिर साथ में कंप्लेन भी किए जा रहे हैं, मैं बूढ़ा हो गया हूँ, अब मेरी वैसी वाली स्ट्रेंथ नहीं रही, अब मुझसे चला नहीं जाता है, अब मेरे बच्चे इतना मेरा ध्यान नहीं रखते. इनको समझ नहीं आ रही है. बोथ आर बैफल्ड. Does that clarify?
Yes, now it does.
Anu?
Yes,
It's vice,
understood.
it's
Understood.
vice versa. As Anjali says, Anjali के क्वेश्चन में ही उसका आंसर था. As Anjali says कि मुझे लगता है how जिन्होंने अचीव किया उन्होंने कैसे किया अचीव किया, और जिन्होंने अचीव किया वो सोच रहे हैं ये भी हमारे साथ है, ये हमारे साथ क्यों नहीं आ रहे हैं. Why they are not joining this?
दोनों एक दूसरे को मूर्ख समझ रहे हैं. बोथ.
Yeah.
बट मूर्ख एक है.
Conditioned.
मूर्ख will be only
Condition.
one. जैसे
हाँ.
जैसे डेनर इज ओनली वन, विनर इज ओनली वन. किसी भी गेम में डेनर एक होता है, बाकी सब पार्टिसिपेंट्स होते हैं. उसी तरह so Sukhdev Goswami not even for a millisecond was ever attracted to anything in this world, ever. All the time absorbed in that. Is it clear? Next.
मैंने क्या बोला था? मैंने कुछ ठीक बोला था?
हाँ. There was no right and wrong. We were just sharing our understanding.
I thought that I was trying to express, but because that matter was little fixed up and entangled, so I thought let me ask that was I able to express properly?
Yeah. So हमेशा ना एक एग्जाम्पल के साथ ये चीजें अगर समझा लो या समझ लो तो ना, जैसे वाईजी ने आईज का एग्जाम्पल दिया और मैंने लाइफस्टाइल का एग्जाम्पल दे दिया, तो उससे प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल से प्रभुपाद भी हमेशा एक प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल ले लेते थे रियल लाइफ में से, उसको समझाते थे, तब ये चीजें क्लैरिफाई होती हैं. अदरवाइज वी आर ओनली टॉकिंग फिलोसफी, उसमें हम हमेशा उलझ के रह जाते हैं. हमेशा प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल.
It was wonderful example from Vaji. Thank you, Vaji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So next verse. Drishtvanuyantam vrisham atmajam
Drishtvanuyantam vrisham atmajam
api anagnam devyo hriya paridadhur
devyo hriya paridadnur
nasu tasya chitam chitram
na sutasya chitram.
Tadvrikshya prichhati munau.
Tadrikshya prichati munau.
Jagadustavasti.
Jagadustavasti.
Sri Pumbhidanatu.
Sri Pumbidhanatu.
Sutasya vivikta drishte.
Sutasya vivikta drishte.
You want to read this?
Sure. Hare Krishna. While Sri Vyasadeva was following his son, beautiful young damsels who were bathing naked covered their bodies with cloth, although Sri Vyasadeva himself was not naked. But they had not done so when his son had passed. The sage inquired about this, and the young ladies replied that his son was purified, and when looking at them, made no distinction between male and female. But the sage made such distinctions.
Right. So, what is this episode? That Vyasadeva has just taken birth, isn't it? Vyasadeva
Yes.
has just taken birth.
No, Parikshit
Sukadev.
Maharaj.
No, no, no.
No,
yeah.
sorry, Sukadev
Sukadev
Goswami has
Goswami.
just.
Dev Goswami.
Yeah. Sukhdev Goswami has just taken birth. His mother held him in the womb for how many years?
16 years.
15 years. And why was that?
He didn't want to come out, I think, because he said he'll be corrupted. No,
Yes.
he'll be
Yes,
corrupted by
that's
what will
answer.
happen in this world.
No, because he was listening to Bhagavatam every now and then because Vyasdev was narrating Bhagavad Katha daily. And
there
he
was-
was not willing to be part of this material world and get engaged in any of the illusory or materialistic activities.
Because I think you get corrupted by the modes of the material nature.
main reason was that he knew he was already a liberated soul while in the womb only. He knew how this world works, and he knew that the moment I take birth, the three Devis, Sattva, Rajo, Guno, the Traigunya, are going to catch hold of him and tie him up. So he said, मुझे बाहर ही नहीं आना है. आऊंगा ही नहीं बाहर तो मुझे ये कैसे बांध लेंगे? And then I will become conditioned. So I don't want to come out. और इसका solution क्या था? Vyasadeva kept on imploring, please come, please come. You know, he was actually speaking to the baby in the womb, you know, that please, come have an association. And what did he say from inside the womb? Look at the technology. He said that if Krishna, because Krishna, this is Dwapar Yug ki kahani hai ye, and Krishna was still there. Krishna was there in the world at that time. So Sukhdev Goswami told his father Vyasadeva that if Krishna comes himself and gives me a guarantee that I will not come under the control of material nature after birth, only then I'll come. Can you believe that? And Krishna came. He came and he told him while in the womb that I take personal responsibility that the moment you come out, the three modes, he said, look, I cannot change the rules of material nature, but for a second, I can freeze it. Just for a second. I can make her ineffective or frozen. Utne time mein you can, come out and take birth and run. So then it will not affect you. So the moment he was delivered, he started running. 16-year-old boy, no? He started running. That I just have a moment and I don't even want to live in the house or in this world. And he started running straight for the jungle. And as he's running, so he's just taken birth. So he doesn't know anybody. Those women, he's on the way, he's crossing a river. And the women are seeing him for the first time. They don't even know who he is. So in that split second that they see this 16-year-old child running, in that split second, the ladies could sense when he looked at them, they didn't cover themselves up because they said कि इसकी नजर में वो distinction ही नहीं थी male female. As a stranger, they could understand, although without knowing who he is, without his greatness also, only by his drishti, the way he looked at them, they could gauge that he is a liberated soul. और पीछे पीछे जब व्यासदेव आए भागते हुए उसको what is Vyasadev doing? He's running. Son, wait, I want to enjoy your association. You know, I have begged for your birth for so many years, and finally now you are appearing. Wait, I want to, spend some time with you. Where are you running away? Sukdev Goswami ने पीछे मुड़ के भी नहीं देखा. But Vyasadev जब वहां से निकले हैं, the ladies covered themselves. The Vyasadev, the ladies covered themselves. That he said he has a distinction of male and female in his mind. Sukdev Goswami does not even have that distinction in his mind. Such was his liberation. It's such a beautiful example. Such was his renunciation from this world. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that a learned sage looks equally on a learned and gentle Brahmin, a chandal, a dog, or a cow, due to his spiritual vision. Remember, we did that in the 5th verse. Panditaha.
Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshina.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah. So it is said that a learned sage looks equally at these people. So Srila Sukdev Goswami had already attained that stage in the womb. Thus, he did not see a male or female. He just saw all of them. Why? दिख तो रहे थे वो as male, female. So क्यों नहीं देखा उन्होंने? Why he could not make a distinction between them? Because he was only looking at them. Sorry, Himangini, आप कुछ कह रहे?
No. नहीं मदद नहीं.
हाँ बोलिए ना.
Because he was not under the 3 moods of nature. That's why.
हाँ, but what was he seeing when he was seeing them?
Possibly the Jivatma.
For him, everything is
just the soul. He was not even looking at their dress, the body that they were wearing. He was only looking at them as Krishna's Amsha. Oh, okay, this is another Amsha, that's another Amsha. The dog on the banks of the river who's also drinking water is the same as the women inside, as the men inside. All of them are the same. But this vision is very difficult. This vision comes from internal purity. ये सिखाई नहीं जा सकती. Okay. So the ladies who were bathing, and somebody please read this. I have a call.
Okay, Hare Krishna, can I read?
Yes, Vaiji.
Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita 5.18, it said that a learned sage looks equally on a learned and gentle Brahmana, a Chandala, dog eater, a dog, or a cow due to his spiritual vision. Srila Sukadev Goswami attained that stage. Thus, he did not see a male or female. He saw all living entities in different dress. The ladies who were bathing could understand the mind of a man simply by studying his demeanor. Just as by looking at a child, one can understand how innocent he is. Sukadev Goswami was a young boy, 16 years old, and therefore all the parts of his body were developed. He was naked also, and so were the ladies. But because Sukadev Goswami was transcendental to sex relations, he appeared very innocent. The ladies, by their special qualifications, could sense this at once, and therefore they were not very concerned about him. But when his father passed, the ladies quickly dressed. The ladies were exactly like his children or grandchildren, yet they reacted to the presence of Vyasadeva according to the social custom, because Srila Vyasadeva played the part of a householder. A householder has to distinguish between a male and female. Otherwise, he cannot be a householder. One should therefore attempt to know the distinction between body and soul without any attachment for male and female. As long as such a distinction is there, one should not try to become a sannyasi like Sukadev Goswami. At least theoretically, one must be convinced that the living entity is neither male nor female. The outward dress is made of matter by material nature to attract the opposite sex and thus keep one entangled in material existence. A liberated soul is above this perverted distinction. He does not distinguish between one living being and another. For him, they are all one and the same spirit. The perfection of this spiritual vision is the liberated sage, and Srila Sukadev Goswami attained that stage. Srila Vyasadeva was also in the transcendental stage, but because he was in the householder's life, he did not pretend to be a liberated soul as a matter of custom. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, I had a question. Can I ask?
To us?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, till Mataji comes,
Yes, yes.
I'm like curious about this last sentence. So they're saying that, Prabhupada ji says that in his purport that Vyasadeva is actually in a transcendental stage. But because he is in his householder's life, he does not pretend to be a liberated soul. So does it mean that if we are in a householder life a stage, we cannot attain liberation? Because as a householder, you do need to know the distinction. It is not possible to look just at the soul, or for anybody, who takes a birth in, in this world, in a family. So that distinction will always be there, right?
Yeah, that's why sannyas ashram is the highest. Four
Okay.
ashrams: brahmacharya,
Aha,
grihastha,
okay,
vanaprastha, and
okay.
sannyas. That's why the sannyas
And
ashram is
then
the
finally,
highest.
okay,
You can,
okay.
I don't know, that question Mataji will answer your question, because I also got the same thing in my mind. But when
No,
contemplating,
but I think your answer is convincing, Yeah, that
yeah,
is, your answer is
that's why the sannyas is
convincing.
the
Because,
highest ashram.
yes. Mm. And Vyasadeva is still in that state. Although he's in the transcendental stage, he's not reached the, maybe given up, not entered the fourth ashram or whatever, maybe, I don't know.
Well,
But
yeah,
such innocence, is it even possible? Such innocence like Sukadev Goswami ka.
yeah, because he
Is it
was
even
just born
possible?
that time.
Right, right. But
See, if you,
but is
well,
it even possible for anybody in this world? You think
no,
about
it
it, is it
was, it
even
was. See, if we go to our time, like 20, 30 years back,
right?
so innocence was there. अभी देखो, you can see the girls got their menstruation started so late, तब कितना time में at the age of 14, 15, 16 they used to start their periods.
Right.
Now
Mm.
the
Mm.
time has changed.
10. Mm.
It's,
Nine.
yeah,
Mm.
10, 9, there is
Yeah.
no,
Mm.
yeah, so early. Was a time जब innocence था लोगों में.
Mm.
So it is a time of ये तो सुखदेव गोस्वामी व्यासदेव ये वाली बात तो so old it is.
Mm.
So definitely होता ही होगा.
But abhi मैं कह रही हूँ, you know, abhi it is so difficult, right? Because the
No,
age is, as you say, becoming even younger, right? So
yeah.
हम तो सोच रहे हैं ये तो बच्चे हैं 8, 9 years, but 8, 9 years they know everything.
Everything because school
So,
में education है उनको. Physical education is started from the school itself.
right, right.
तो
But
ये वाला
then how then is it possible for us to reach that 5.18 stage? Because itna, you know, all this material jnana, you know, that keeps coming and gets thrown at us. It is so difficult to look beyond all this and look only at the soul, right?
That's why Prabhupada's books are that's why book distribution is so much stressed in ISKCON. So at least one book should be, it's a plantation of a seeds. Never knows which one will get bloom at what time.
Mm.
We could see Mataji's altar, no? This picture.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes, new altar.
I think it's done, yeah. When I was there, it was just getting done when I visited Mataji. It's beautiful.
Where is Anjali? Anjali left, yeah?
Yeah,
She
I think
left,
so. I
हाँ.
saw her. Mm.
उसने मैसेज डाला है, she will join back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Mm.
हाँ, chat में कुछ है.
हाँ, लेकिन 10 minutes हो गए हैं,
हाँ.
maybe she is busy.
Because Veggie, if we see, no, अभी हम ये purport पढ़ रहे हैं.
Mm.
Sometimes when I'm walking on the road, I just do this exercise. By looking at the tree, by looking at the dogs and cats, just जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं ना यहाँ पे, just try to look at them as a not as an animal, but consciously exercise कर सकते हैं हम लोग. We could,
Right.
instead of looking at them as a cat or dog or any animal. Like Krishna's अंश करके हम सोच सकते हैं. Definitely we can see only the outer body,
Right.
but consciously, I'm saying. Sometimes
Right.
if I remember जब मैं हूँ on the road, then consciously if I remember this thought, then immediately I start observing like that.
With the, well,
Slowly we can achieve it. Not achieve, but at least conscious thoda, at least 5% or 1% we can.
but actually helps in terms of, you know, I mean, you've gone to the next stage, you know, looking at animals also. Then for me, people reaction, right? When I'm reacting to situations.
Yeah.
So reacting to situations, you know, I pause now. I don't react. Then baad mein, you know, analyzing that, you know, Paramatma is in there. So let's not hurt the Paramatma, you know, who's inside.
Yeah.
And then, you know, moderate my reaction in the hope that eventually, right, it becomes a habit. You know, it's not like all situations, but at least some situations, right? And then you introspect. I think, you know, the point that you made is very important. Like, jo kuch hum padh rahe hain, usko soch ke then apply karna, I think is very important. And
Right.
then ho to aadat ban jayega na. Aadat ban jane se hi possibly, you know, everything will be the same then. You
Yes,
know?
because
When all of them are walking in a line, we see only the soul then, right?
yeah,
See a Brahmana, a dog, a Chandala, you just see the soul then.
Sorry guys. So, where were we? आप लोगों ने क्या क्या discuss कर लिया?
Vaiji has some question.
Ji. Oh,
No, I
let me
think-
show you my altar. Wait.
Oh, Hari Bol.
Hari
Nice.
Bol.
Wow, so beautiful.
Yes. Oh, it's a very beautiful picture of Srila Prabhupada, Mataji. Could see.
It's a
Big
drawing, right? Or a picture? It looks like a drawing.
drawing.
Okay.
Ah.
अब दिख रहा है ना ज्यादा बेटर कि नहीं?
लाइट आ रही है उस पे माताजी.
अच्छा अब लाइट आ रही है. Okay, I can't do this better than this.
Nice altar. Very beautiful. Vaishnav altar.
हाँ जी, क्या क्वेश्चन है?
I think the question that I had was on the last line of this purport.
Purport, huh? Okay, let me
Yeah.
last line of the purport. Last line. Oh, you read the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
A liberated soul, is it? Or the perfection
Yeah.
of a liberated soul is above this perverted distinction. He does not distinguish between one living being and another. For him, they're all one and the same spirit. The perfection of the spiritual vision is the liberated state. And Srila Sukadeva Goswami attained that stage. Srila Vyasdev was also in the transcendental stage. But because he was in the householder's life, he did not pretend to be a liberated soul as a matter of custom. I see. This part?
Yeah. And Hemangni Mataji actually gave a very nice explanation for that. So
Right.
my question was, because Vyasadeva is also, it says that he's in a transcendental stage. So my question was, if you're still a householder, it is not possible, to get to that liberated phase.
Is that your question?
Yeah, that was my question.
But Vyasdev ka to hai na example. खुद ही बोल रहे हैं वो that he was in the householder's life, yet he was in the transcendental stage.
So that's why, but he did not pretend to be a liberated soul. So he is in the transcendental phase, but he did not pretend to be a liberated soul. So for, somebody, a conditioned soul like us, if we are in the householder phase, isn't it more, difficult to actually reach that stage of seeing only the soul in everybody?
It's not difficult, it's impossible. Liberation to भूल जाओ.